So, like I said, Roe versus Wade. Actually, I want to ask you this: what was your gut feeling when you first heard that Roe versus Wade was overturned?
When I first heard it was overturned, like before it actually was.
No, well, yeah, I know that was a whole ball of wax. But when it actually happened, like, how did it strike you?
It struck me as like, wow, this is like historical, monumental. Like, I can't believe it actually happened. Like, wow, the country actually made a choice in the direction of morality for once. And I can't believe it's actually it was hard to believe, but I was like, it was very refreshing and encouraging and hopeful.
Yeah. It's talking about shocked and stunned. I didn't think I'd ever see it in my lifetime. No. But although, we've been following this for quite a while. So the cards were there. I mean, it would eventually be overturned. Mm-hmm. And it was just, once it finally happened, it was, what was that? I know. Something good came out of the Supreme Court that was logical and, well-founded. It was very strange.
Yeah, it was. And as you said, it's been coming for a while because pro-life organizations have been exploding. Plus, with the advent of science and technology and ultrasounds, and people can actually see the clump of cells that's moving and has a heartbeat and a head and all of the other things. It's like the tide has been changing. Plus, just the graphic nature of some of the signs people hold up, that, whoa, that's what an aborted baby looks like. Oh, wow. I had some kids at school once and they said, Mister, come here, when I was a teacher. And I don't know if I don't advocate this, but, they said, come here. They're like, look at this. And they were showing me shark attacks where people were having a missing arm or a missing limb because they got bit by a shark. And they're like, that's gross, right, mister? And I said, actually, that's nothing. They're like, what are you talking about? I said, that's nothing compared to abortion. And they're like, they started looking it up. I didn't know they were going to. I just said it off the top of my head. And all of them stopped and they were like, whoa, like there was just complete silence with like 5 kids in high school. And one of the girls finally spoke up and she's like, whoa, she's like, I am never having an abortion. And it was so graphic. And I think when people see these things, the tide has been changing because of all this and a lot more for decades, I think.
Yeah. Who was it? I was listening to a commentator and in Roe versus Wade, one of the justices said, if some evidence comes down the pike that, the baby is, fully human and so on, then we need to revisit it. And I guess a couple of years later, that's when we started getting the photos, right? The picture.
Right.
And yet, it just kept getting pushed off and unfortunately buried under slogans. But you're right. There is this visceral reaction when you actually see what occurs.
Absolutely. And I think even if we didn't know it was a person, but we had a pretty good idea, I think that's good enough that we should remove the law. I mean, I think Pope John Paul II put it best when he said, the Pope said, if you see someone in the distance, you're hunting for deer in the woods, and in the distance, you're not sure if it's actually a deer or a human. He says you have a moral right not to shoot just in case it's a human. And it's the same thing in every other aspect of life. If we're not sure if we're going to be killing a human, by all means, we should be erring on the side of caution and, respect and morality and not pulling the trigger.
If you're going to demolish a building, you just don't say, well, I don't know if there's any humans, but let's do the plunger, and blow it up anyway.
I thought I heard someone on the 32nd floor, but let's just go through with it.
Yeah, right.
Have you been receiving a lot of anti-Catholic, abortion comments, really, just hate kind of speech? Because as soon as Roe versus Wade, was overturned, Catholic Truth, my organization, just got spammed with all of this hate, from the Party of Peace, and the people who were just like really anxious and angry, and I would even say evil, just calling names. I mean, I took screenshots on my my YouTube channel and on my Instagram of all the people who just were swearing up and down and telling me I'm going to die and, I should have been aborted and all this other stuff. And it's like, wow. These people are so angry, and it's like they're attacking viciously those people who disagree. And I was wondering if you've seen that, on your part as well.
No, I've seen absolutely nothing like that.
Okay.
No, I'm joking.
Oh,
Are you kidding? I mean, it's impossible to escape that. I mean, yeah, and you're right. You know, those who supposedly are tolerant and peace loving suddenly become very intolerant and quite hateful, you know, for those that don't agree with them.
yeah. And I'm going to talk about this more later in the show, but I did one of the most powerful interviews I've ever done on my Catholic Truth podcast in 3 years. And this show is so powerful. And it's about a woman who had direct experience, who should have been aborted, but it failed. And she was born, and she's been changing hearts and minds, even of top politicians, ever since. And it's so very powerful. But she says that ever since, you know, people tell her that, you know, we wish you were aborted. We wish you were never, you know, you are evil. You're the reason why this, you know, country is going downhill. You know, you're just because you're there, basically you're pro, you know, RAPE and all of this other stuff. And they're just viciously attacking her. And I told her during the interview, I think it's so ironic that the devil, who is evil incarnate itself and the father of all lies, is calling you evil. Even if it's through other people, the devil is viciously attacking you because he hates good. He hates life. He hates what we have, and he's trying to pull you down. And isn't that the biggest irony, is that the father of evil is calling us good people evil?
That's very true.
Woe to you who call evil good, Jesus said, and woe to you who call good evil. You know, and that's what's going on right now in our country.